Hello, 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 Cosmic Seekers. Welcome back to another Tarot Deep Dive. Yeah, today we're digging in with the Reverse Queen of Swords. I am Cosmic Boogeyman, and I'm so happy you're here. We're actually finishing up the Sword series, and it feels amazing because the reversals are teaching us so much, really. It really is. If you've been here and you've been watching the entire series, let me know. If you haven't, go back. Watch the Ace of Swords in reverse and find the beginning of this. If you're just learning tarot, take a look at the entire series. I have two different, I've actually probably have more than that, because now I think about it, because I'm making different playlists for these, and I'm coming at these cards in a lot of different ways. I want to let you know that I interpret the cards in different perspectives. So if you haven't been with me before, please think about hanging around. Think about just taking a moment, kick your feet up and just relax. Because this Reverse Queen of Swords is about, that cold, distant energy, that cutting too deep, maybe, that energy. Sometimes this emotional detachment, that harsh words that comes along with this reversal, it can really be a fine line between that wisdom and then coldness. When I was first getting into tarot, I saw the swords and I would say, oh, this is the feminine of the Aquarius. And it really is interesting because it's more than that. It does have air sign energy with the sword, but there's a little bit more there. It's Libra energy. We'll get into it. We'll get into all of it, because the upright here is that sharp intellect. With the sword here, you can see the completion, right? The full clarity. Speaking the truth with precision. Don't let emotions cloud the judgment here. That's what we're trying to do. In the upright, it's letting us know that we have that. That's why we call it Libra energy. We call it justice energy. The icy energy that comes along with reversal, maybe cutting others off, maybe critical, judgmental, connecting on an emotional level, is not easy for this reversal. It's really tough. It's like, hey, how you doing? What do you mean, how am I doing? It's not a trick question. We're not trying to trick you. We're just saying, how are you doing? You can see how it's almost like 50-50 on the card here. You have the clouds in it, and then the other half is like, well, I know there's something here. So, and then someone just guarding themselves too fiercely. They're speaking in a way that wounds, instead of helping. Like, hey, how you been? What do you mean? It's like, well, okay, I'm just asking. Feeling distant or emotionally shut down. The reversal of the Queen of Swords is a way to kind of balance that logic with compassion, soften those little rough edges. But reconnecting with your emotional truth, that's this card. If you're pulling it for yourself, it's really just showing you a perspective that you really haven't considered about yourself. Maybe that cold attachment that you might come across with. The excessive criticism. Is that the best way? Yes, it's the way I've done it. Struggling with others, to trust them. In the upright form, this card represents that clear thinking, that honesty, that mental sharpness. That's why I come across it and say, what is this trying to show you? Because that harsh energy, that cutting words, the emotional walls that get put up when the reversal comes in, is letting those past wounds rule the day. It's letting them turn into bitterness. And maybe we're being a little bit too harsh on ourselves or others. If we shut down instead of expressing our emotions, that could be a big problem, because that vulnerability, that trust that comes along with this is not easy. And this card often appears like when we're getting in this moment of clarity, but we often really need to just soften our approach, reconnect with our heart. And the sword here it's pointing down in this position, where normally it's pointing up. And when it points up, it symbolizes truth, wisdom, the clear communication. I know exactly what I want. You probably seen it before with someone's finger, right? I know. And so, thumbs up, thumbs down even. Representing that sharp words that come across this. But are you allowing frustration to turn into harshness? Are you speaking before considering the emotional impact? The reversal here, the reverse queen, is just saying, balance your honesty with kindness. The clouded sky, the mental fog, the emotional distress, the clouds that come in the background, they represent that mental energy, that clarity, that power of thought. And it's really that moment of mental exhaustion where you overanalyze emotions, you struggle to see things that clearly should be there. But are you overthinking everything instead of just feeling it? Let those past burdens, those clouds, represent what you want, what you need. And then learn from that. Say, this is what I wanted. I know you weren't wrong. The reversal is just urging you to clear that mental fog and trust what it is. Because sometimes we just overthink a little bit too much and we're like, ooh, sorry. Afterwards, we're like, whoops. But the throne is that fortress. And sometimes in the reversal, it becomes a prison. Because the queen's sitting on this really powerful throne. And we talked about it in the upright, but it has amazing detail in here. And you look in here, you'll see there's all this little detail that comes along inside here. But the moment we look at this, we should be really looking at other things because we're not overthinking this part of it anymore. That's why I say don't just call this an opposite. Don't call it the other way, you know? Because sometimes, and I'll come back and I'll do more of these reversals, but what we get here is we're letting, you know, we need to figure out the moment, and we're letting people dictate our lives sometimes. The reverse Queen of Swords is asking you to let people in and allow them to support you. The outstretched hand, the misplaced judgment, the selective trust, the upright Queen of Swords is extending you. It's giving you that one hand that is welcoming the truth and wisdom, and the reversal is the hand that's indicating the selective hearing, you know, saying, hey, I don't know, rejecting advice. Are you holding on to the rigid beliefs, refusing to hear from another perspective? The reverse Queen of Swords reminds you that you are the true wisdom. You're the one who comes from the understanding, not just the intellect. The astrological connections here, the Queen of Swords is the connected air energy, the Gemini, the Libra, the Aquarius, the ruled energy, the intellectual, the perception, the communication. When reversed, it comes in with this energy that you can manifest as miscommunication, emotional detachment, or excessive skepticism even. The reverse, though, is saying, what are we looking for? What is your intelligence building up to? Is it a different connection? Because when it comes in with this, we're trying to figure out what this is trying to give you. But are you just pushing people away? Possibly. Are you using your intelligence to build connections and then just push them away at the end? Or are they getting pushed away? This card is the number 13 card, or the 13th card in the series, right? It doesn't have a number, but it does come in with that 13th number because what I would like to do, and sometimes I've been talking about this, I reduce it. So what we usually do in numerology is what we usually will have to do is we'll just add the two numbers together. I'll put 1 + 3 is 4. So what it will come to is, in reverse, it's that, you know, that stubborn energy, the confronting, I know, I got it. No, you don't know. But in the reality is everyone else sees it. That's all. Maybe you're using your intelligence to build a connection. You're pushing people away, but that energy is showing that, you know, this righteous energy doesn't get you anywhere. And that number 13, or the reduced to 4, is representing that transformation, that personal power. Reversal just says, hey, we got fear of vulnerability. Be vulnerable. You're resistant to a little bit of change. Maybe you're being set or being too set in someone's ways or your ways. The reversal says, hey, remind you that true power comes in from flexibility, not rigid control. And the Kabbalistic teachings is reminding you that you need to have a sphere of understanding. You need to have that sphere of wisdom. And with reversal, it's don't have the intellectual arrogance. Don't be like you're better than anybody else. And if someone gets this pulled for them, or you're pulling this for a person, remind them. It's don't close off that intuition. Don't let logic overpower any heart-centered wisdom. Because that's what we get in this card, is this kind of energy. We want to make sure we're definitely making this a big deal here. We need to know that our beliefs, they will shape reality. If we believe or we expect coldness, we receive it. If the reverse Queen of Swords asks and comes in and says, hey, are you allowing love into reality, or are you cutting it off? If that came in and asked you the question, what would your answer be, or what would they have to say? Because she's popping down from the universe, from the divine, from the heavens, and saying, hey, I got a question for you. Are you loving? Are you allowing it in? Because upright is saying, let's do this. You know, let's be honest here. And the heart chakra energy really flows deep with this, releasing those emotional barriers, restoring those trusts. That's what we're trying to get into. That's what we want to do. That's the Reiki principle that we want to focus with. The reverse energy is giving us this moment to feel that. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit distant or emotionally disconnected. Healing energy will help you soften those walls. The healing frequency, I would say 528 hertz would be best, because that really opens the heart, that balances the emotions. The emotional energy especially is vulnerable. But we want to promote trust, forgiveness, maybe even struggling with something. Emotional detachment, listening to that 528 will definitely get you in that place of warm fuzzies, you know? It's going to help you, really. I think about this in the practical way, or the insightful way sometimes too, but the reverse is going to say, hey, how's it guiding you? And I ask people every time I go into this, when I'm doing readings, or I ask them in different ways, but I'll kind of hint at it. And one of the things I find with my guides is I say, like, how is this showing up? How is this guiding? It's really, it's telling people more or less, saying, hey, soften your approach, easy. Maybe you've been too logical, dismissing the emotions. It's time to balance that mind and that heart. Be mindful of your words. Are you cutting others down instead of lifting them up? Speaking that truth without considering emotional impact. The reverse Queen of Swords urges you to choose your words that heal, not harm. Finally, when I look at this, I really know it's opening up to that emotional connection, finding the connection that really matters. If you've been avoiding vulnerability out of fear or skepticism, this card reminds you that true strength comes from being open. It's really truth without kindness is really just cruelty. If you're just saying, imagine telling someone, hey, you're not good looking, and just walking away. It's like, wow. It's really rough. And that would be rough on somebody. And it's like, but they're also very kind and they're beautiful on the inside. And that is true. Or telling someone, you're beautiful, but you're super shallow. And beauty's not everything, I'll tell you. I met some really beautiful people. I'm like, get away from me. I don't want you to be around me. Because the shallowness is rough. It's that duality. So you have to balance the intellect with the emotional intelligence. Your words really, they matter. So be careful, because when you're using them wisely, they're going to shape your world. And they're going to really help you find whatever this is, because that detachment is not always part of your strength. It's going to really... But I see it as it's more like that coldness is repelling what you truly desire. Being right isn't the most important thing. And you're letting love in, even when it feels so risky. And that's what's amazing. When we take those risks, step outside that comfort zone, as I call it. Your heart and mind, they must work together. They must work in unison. Wisdom comes from experience, not just analysis. Don't let skepticism block those new opportunities. You're like, I can't, no way. That's not how you operate. No. Listen, just slow your mind, slow your heart, slow your universe, and calm your soul. It's really, really powerful. You don't have to face everything at once. You don't have to face everything alone. Logic without that empathy brings in that sense of like distance, right? And you really want to be critical, but not without that kindness. And that's where we bring that people will shut down. Think about your exes, your partners, the people you wonder about. If they're always critical about you, critical, but they're never kind. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you. You're nasty. The energy that invites people is the one that you want. The nice energy, the kind energy, the one that's teaching you something with warmth, light. The one that's going to repel them is that dark energy, the one that's cold. That's the one. The reverse Queen of Swords is teaching you that wisdom without the warmth leads to isolation. If you've been feeling distant or overly analytical, it's time to reconnect with your heart and allow that love to flow freely. It really, really is. It wants you to get into that mindset of you have this. The cold and distant energy, that cutting that's too deep, that feeling that you can't. We really need to focus on grounding. Really. So let's look at it like that. Let's look at it growth. Let's look at being a creator, not a destroyer. And if this is in your reading or if this is for somebody else, know that you are trustworthy. You're loyal. I mean, you can be consistent, but it can be a little bit rough when we're confronting other people. We're so stubborn because we just know. And you do know. You have the sword. You do know. So we have to be very careful with that because we don't want to become too complacent in how much we know, because your knowledge, your energy is there, and it does prove a point. All right, we're going to move on to the next. I want you to be there with me. I want you to tell me you enjoy this. I want you to let me know that this is good. I want to let me know that this is actually teaching you a little bit of something. Hit me up in the comments. And if you can, please hit the like, the subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let me know that you guys are enjoying this. Cosmic Collective members, I'll see you on our exclusive live events. And if you are interested in a free reading, try to stop in on a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we really pick random, so it's all about the universe, you, me, and us getting aligned. But if you're looking for a private reading, hit me up at cosmicboogeyman.com or check out my other content on social media. I'm everywhere. So I'll see you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed it. You be safe. Peace.